many men believe it's fear that it stops them from meeting women, but actually it's something completely different that most men are not aware of, and that silently kills their chances to go out there and meet women. And if you don't know what it is, and if you misdiagnose this problem, then it will absolutely kill your chances to go out and meet women too. The way I discovered this was having a conversation with a student of mine, and he was explaining that for him, it was very difficult to go out there and meet women, and he just didn't feel like it. He was telling me that it's very difficult for him to have the energy because he's a developer, he works from home, he has a lot of urgent tasks that he needs to get done, and at the end of the day, he just has no energy to go out there and meet women. And at that point, I slowly started to realize what might be the issue. So I asked him, okay, well, when you go and have these work tasks, and then you take breaks, how do you take breaks? And then he said, well, the usual stuff. I just read some news, check my phone, check Reddit. And at that point, I immediately knew what the problem was, and let me explain you what that is, because you most likely have it as well. So there are two completely separate issues. One issue that you might have fear of talking to women, fear of going outside, fear of people judging you. That's one issue. The other issue is that you have no energy to do anything and you're lethargic. And if you combine that with the fact that you have fear of talking to women, of course you're not going to go out when you finish your work tasks. So let's actually talk about how to manage your energy throughout the day so that you do have the energy to go out and meet women after you finish work. So you all know dopamine, right? It's basically the chemical that controls where your motivation goes. Now, dopamine baseline is your level of motivation to do anything when there's not really exciting stuff going on. So if you have high dopamine baseline, even if there's nothing exciting going on, you can focus on your work, you can read a book for a long amount of time. On the other hand, if you have low dopamine baseline, you constantly need to check your phone or need to have some sort of entertainment that kind of motivates you to do the next tasks. Now, what is interesting is that you usually start your day with high dopamine baseline. So you wake up, you start working, and then it's quite easy to focus. And then you have a break. And now you check your phone, and what that happens is when you check your phone, that spikes your dopamine for a little bit, but there's actually no reward. So then it actually goes down. So every time you check your phone, you lower your dopamine baseline, and when you do this repeatedly throughout the day, your dopamine baseline drops, and when it's 5 p.m. or 6 p.m., your brain is absolutely cooked, and of course, at that point, you will not want to do anything, let alone go out there and talk to women. So let me now talk about how I manage my dopamine baseline and what do I do throughout the day to ensure that I have enough energy to go out there and meet women at 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. when I finish my work. So the first thing that I do is I have turned off all my notifications on my phone. So every time someone messages me, I don't get like this notification. Also, all my internet is off, and I turn on my internet only 3 times or 4 times until 6 p.m. at specific times. So when I do turn on internet, I get all the messages, and then I basically just check all the messages at once. So essentially, I'm bulking all of the messages that I need to respond to, and then it's much easier to control my dopamine. The other really big thing is what you do on the breaks. So of course, you do your work stuff, and then you have to take a break. Now, instead of just grabbing my phone and going on social media, some good replacements that I've found is maybe reading Kindle or listening to Spotify music or even just talking to ChatGPT. Now, of course, I'm not some monk, I'm not perfect, but it's still, I believe, better than 99% of the people, and hence, I do have the energy at 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. to go out there and talk to women. And this is exactly what you need to do. You must have the discipline to go and control your dopamine, because if you're not going to have the discipline to do such a simple thing, manage your energy throughout the day and avoid doom scrolling and doing social media, then you're not going to have the energy to go out there and get over your fear and social anxiety. And what's very interesting is that when I explained this to my student, he had never thought of it that way. And even though he considered himself as a smart, accomplished individual, which he was in certain areas of life, he was like, dude, I had no idea. A few things from that episode. Number one is that the reason that your dating life might not be as good as it is, a lot of times it's not the reason that you think it is. So you might think, oh, well, it's because I'm shy or I have bad looks. And those are usually very surface level causes, but root level causes are always much deeper. So for example, this is your inability to manage your energy. And a lot of men would not even realize that the way they use their phone affects their ability to go out there and meet women. And the second thing is that it's very key that in your life, you have people that can actually give you advice about stuff that you don't know that you don't know. So for example, this guy didn't know that his inability to meet women was related to the fact that he was not able to manage his dopamine. So if you don't have people like that in your life that can really tell you things that you don't see, it's going to be very difficult to solve the problems. Which is why if you want to have people like that that can tell you stuff that you don't know about your dating life and how to fix your dating life, then my one-on-one mentorship might be interesting to you. Not only there's going to be a group of men, including me, to diagnose your root issues with women and hold you accountable, I'm going to guide you one-on-one every step of the way on your journey to go out there and get better with women. You're going to go out in your city like this while you're talking to me on the phone, and I'll guide you in your conversations, help you get over your fear and anxiety, and of course, help you diagnose every issue that keeps you from becoming the best version of yourself with women every step of the way. If that sounds interesting to you, check out the first link in the description.